The Collegiate Battle of First-Generation Students by Kayla Malloy. First-generation students. So what? A large population of college students are considered first generation, in which they are the first in their immediate family to attend and/or finish college. Because this population is so large, we must understand the dynamic between first-generation and continued generation students. This knowledge will raise awareness of the disparities between these students' experiences. In turn, this knowledge can be used to curate solutions to provide better access of education as well as support to finish their degree. This will help in fostering student equity, which can allow students to obtain an education regardless of their socioeconomic background. I argue that first-generation students face many barriers prior to and along their collegiate experience. These barriers include lack of interdependent campus culture, university knowledge, and financial accessibility. Understanding the research. In the article, You Never Fully Become Independent, Family Roles and Independence in First-Generation College Students, the culture of interdependence within students is examined. 35 first-generation students were surveyed to better understand what their interdependence looked like. In doing so, students expressed the importance of helping family as well as finding opportunities to self-fund their education to lessen the burden on their family members. This survey resulted in 4 types of soft and 5 types of hard independence. The 4 types of soft being gaining freedom, becoming expressive, pursuing their individual interests, and becoming mature. The 5 types of hard independence are being resilient, self-reliance, being tough, being mature, and breaking tradition. The authors of this research pose that universities take these 9 different types of independence as well as culture of interdependence and value them as strengths of the student. In the article, Staying Close or Going Away, How Distance to College Impacts the Educational Attainment and Academic Performance of First-Generation College Students, it is recognized that first-generation students attain bachelor's degrees less than their continued generation peers. This longitudinal study followed a pool of roughly 109,000 students from 1,600 different universities. The results of this study displayed a positive correlation between bachelor's degree attainment and college distance. Although college accessibility reinforces inequality, a strong social connection and integration in university life increases the odds of degree completion. College distance does not show to hinder GPA, yet it is seen that social, environmental, and personal circumstances are at fault for student hindrance rather than personal ability. The student's sense of connection to the university and community within greatly increase the likelihood of not only first-generation student success, but campus-wide success in general. In the article, Unseen Disadvantages, How American Universities Focus on Independence Undermines the Academic Performance of First-Generation College Students, the interdependence of first-generation students, and the independent culture of universities is examined. First-generation students display this interdependence because of their background. This study was split into 4 sections, which interviewed a total of 261 university administrators and 1,659 undergraduates with a mix of first and continued generation students. This study tested a cultural mismatch theory in where the responses given by university administrators represented the middle-class norms other than the norms of all. The undergrads were given 2 admission letters, one of which promoted independent life and the other promoted interdependence, uses phrases such as working together and being part of a community. The interdependent letter was favored by a majority of the students regardless of first or continued generation. When university culture promotes high levels of independence, a social gap is seen. Yet, when promoted connection and interdependence, the social gap dwindles, which enables first-generation students to see academia as less difficult and more inviting. Media portrayal. In the article, Here's How to Get Smart Poor Kids into Top Colleges, featured on ABC News, author Emily Drury addresses that first-generation students don't apply to top colleges. To combat this statistic, it is suggested that colleges create and disperse more relevant information to students and parents. Also, top universities should allow students to apply for free if they cannot afford such fees. In order to reach the demographic of high-achieving low-income students, the informational pamphlets need to reach a variety of areas. This can be done with the help of the college board such as the SAT or ACT, as well as the Department of Education. These resources have a wide array of student information in which they will know where to allocate such information. In the article, First-Generation College Students Find Helping Hands at Schools, author Jay Rosenberg provides a myriad of obstacles that first-generation students face. These students lack role models and self-confidence. They are not used to setting long-term goals and just overall not academically prepared. The finances are overwhelming, and some cannot commit to such, for they already have previous family obligations. The Federal TRIO program is helping students across the nation to prepare for college. This program is offered to low-income students in high school and low-income first-generation students in college. This organization is a resource that students can utilize when navigating what to do before going to college, how to apply, and what to do when attending college. Although this is a great resource, there are still the barriers of finance, language, and testing. Overall, money matters, and some individuals simply cannot afford college. The language barrier also affects first generation, for some of the population are not only students, but first-generation immigrants as well. These stressors placed upon first-generation students can unfortunately cause them to drop out. In the article, The Real Cost of School for First-Generation College Students, written by E. Pratt, NBC News, examines the insecurities many students face other than academic. Attending college is expensive. The financial resources provided to students only factors in academic finances rather than life finances overall. In a survey of over 100 universities, nearly 45% of students are food insecure and 48% of students are housing insecure. Unfortunately, high-achieving children from poor families have lower odds of success than lower-achieving children from wealthier backgrounds, wrote Pratt. These students struggle to access a secondary education and academic success. First-generation students are plagued with the lack of cultural capital, which has so kindly assisted their middle and high-income peers. In this article, the author suggests ways to combat the price of higher education by seeking a more affordable education, such as local community college. When going to college, always apply for FAFSA each year, and if need be, utilize federal aid such as SNAP benefits. Universities will have resources as well to curb costs and insecurities with local food pantries, scholarships, and library resources. The research focuses on university culture, as well as the media. The media goes one step further to give possible solutions. Both sources recognize the social gap that first-generation students face. On the other hand, research displayed empirical data and studies, whereas the media use given data and pose solutions. If the limited access of secondary education continues, then the chances of climbing the wage ladder lessens. Because of this, the limited college access attributes to the cycle of poverty. This cycle creates and maintains large wealth disparities between classes using education. So, education families with money will continue to be educated, whereas lower class families may not be so lucky. Universities need these first-generation students, for they offer new and different perspectives for academia due to their cultural and class backgrounds. Without these diverse ways of thoughts, colleges would become think tanks that favor the rich. Without this valuable education, individuals are seen as less intelligent, which has been a common trend through history with the poor, women, and minorities. First-generation students have to break down many barriers prior to and along their collegiate journey. The lack of interdependence within university culture limits the connection first-gen students feel to college. Lack of resources and university knowledge discourages these students, for they may not know where or how to seek these resources. Lastly, universities have become widely financially inaccessible for many low-income students. First-generation students want an education just as much as anyone else. Their voices and concerns need to be heard and addressed.